Hey everyone, this is Jarrad Hewett. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I hope your weekend goes wonderfully, depending on when you're watching this awesome video. You may hear a squeaky toy here in a minute. That's my little one playing in the background. I wanted to talk a little bit with you right now about the energy of receiving. Um, Oftentimes we get into an energy where we want to manifest, or we talk about manifesting, and we talk about co-creation, and we talk about creating our biggest desires. Yet sometimes the energy that we have, the expectation we have around what those desires are supposed to look like, or the energy around how we think it's all supposed to look, can get in the way. So I wanted to read you very quickly, and then we're going to do a little meditation and play a track. I want to read you very quickly. We're going to play a new track from the new series, the new 52-week series. It's going to be week 11, and when you listen back to the call that Darius and I did, you will also hear, I think we did five new tracks. So you'll have a definite feel for what this new series is. And actually, if you look on the page, you can see every single title, all of the tracks. You'll get an idea for all of the ground that's covered, everything that we could possibly experience in this next 52 weeks, and things that we go through just in our lives in general, all of the ebbs, the flows. Darius has talked before. He gave a great example where sometimes, we feel like we're in a jet plane and we're moving, and we hit, turbulence, and we hit those mountains, and we hit those peaks, and we hit those peaks, and we hit those peaks. And there's a way where when we learn to flow with the energy, we start to rise above all of that. And that doesn't mean that there aren't things that we can do in our own lives, and there are places and spaces that we still grow, but we start to ascend, and and ascension is also expansion. It's expanding in all of the different ways, from our heart, and really understanding that when we come from that space of love, and when we really learn to tune into who we are through that divine open gateway of love, it opens us up to our true blueprint for who we really are. It opens us up to what we're here for and what our passions are, and it enhances our relationships. It enhances our ability to create. It puts us in alignment with so many new things and so many new ways of being, that it really is life changing in so many ways. And one of the things that he asked me on the call was to go over my story a little bit, and kind of the ways that understanding what it means to have the awareness that everything is energy, what that really brings into life, and how that allows for a complete and total shift and change. And so I want to read to you very quickly. If you are somebody that wants to get them all at once, this being the new tracks, you actually will get a book, a little an ebook. It's 62 pages that has these extended explanations. And if you get them weekly, you'll get each page at a time, and you can kind of collect them and add them together. Or if you get them all at once, you can also get the weekly, but you can opt into that so that you get them, you have them all, you can go through and listen, but that you still stay connected, and that you have the reminders each week come in from me. And that way you also have kind of a way to see what's going on just on the planet as we go through this next year together. But I want to read this to you before we listen to the track, and we're going to do a little exercise here as well. But this track is called Receiving Blessings. And blessings in and of itself is an interesting energy, because a lot of times we think of blessings as something that are bestowed upon us by sort of an almighty energy, that maybe if we are lucky enough, if we do the right things, if we think the right thoughts, if we say the right things, this benevolent force will bestow it upon us. And so I want to read this to you, and then we're going to explore that energy a little bit to really open us up to receiving in a much bigger way. And then when you experience the call and you experience these energies, you're going to really have an idea of what it is your dominant vibration is creating in your life. And kind of, if you think of yourself as a soup, what are the ingredients that you're putting into your soup? It's the people around you, it's the thoughts you think, it's the belief systems you have, it's all of the things that you do in your daily life. But there's so much more than that. It's all of the energy that all of those things bring into your life. And so as we start to change all of those things, and we start to change those frequencies, the flavor of our life begins to change. It's almost like, I've used this example before as well. The life that we experience is a symphony. And if one little note changes, the totality of how that symphony sounds changes. And so it can be a tweak in relationships, it can be a tweak in money, it can be a tweak in our work, it can be a tweak in our health, it can be a tweak in the way we think about something. And the whole picture begins to change. And as that whole picture changes, that creates a space for something else to change and something else to change. And it creates this cascading effect of this momentum that we start to experience. And so that's one of the reasons I love to do all of these tracks and kind of create this momentum, because it creates a space where we get to experience that consistent momentum and that consistent change. So this is, I'm just going to read it and then we'll get into the track, and then we'll also do, we'll probably do the exercise and then we'll do the track. So this is what I wrote. This is like if you were to just receive a weekly, you would get an email and it would come with a description. So it says, blessings come in all shapes and sizes, but sometimes we ask but forget to receive. For example, we may be sitting around all day thinking we are getting a package from UPS. And when FedEx arrives, we slam the door and tell them to get lost because we're waiting on UPS. I tell the story in The Big E, and this was the book I co-wrote with Dee Wallace. I don't know, we probably wrote the book 15 years ago. It's been a very long time. But I tell the story of a person, and this was something I can recall being, I heard this as a child growing up, and it was actually a church of all places. So I'll use the term God, but this, you can think in terms of source and in terms of just the energy of the universe, and how sometimes we don't accept because of our expectations and our attachments. But this is the story of a person on the rooftop in the middle of a flood, and they're praying, they're asking for the universe, for God to save them. And when the canoe comes by, the person in the canoe offers the man a seat. And the person basically says, you know, get lost. I'm waiting on the universe. I'm waiting for God. I specifically asked God to save me. Get lost. And so as the water rises, the man continues to pray and a fishing boat comes by. The man waves them off, telling them he knows that God is going to save him. And so time goes by, and you probably understand where this story is going, but time goes by and the home is completely consumed by the rain. And the man is now left alone on top of the roof with raging tides all around him. A chopper spots him, but the man refuses to row, steadfast in his knowing that God will save him. Minutes later, the man falls into the water and drowns. Upon meeting God in heaven, the man, angered that God didn't save him, asked God why he didn't intervene. I sent 2 boats and a plane. I don't know what else you expected, replied God. And so oftentimes we forget that the universe, God in this instance, is a partner, not a ruler. And we must be open to receiving, which oftentimes means getting out of our own way and even shifting some of our deeply held beliefs about others and our own self. And so the track that we're going to play is just that. And oftentimes we have beliefs around what we think the universe is or how we think we're going to receive something. And sometimes it can show up in a very, very different way. And there's also a way when we receive, when we ask for something, it's almost like we are asking for something, but receiving that thing is actually going to bring change into our life. And are we ready for that change? And a lot of times we say, oh yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for that change. Yet the change it's going to bring isn't just in that one area where we're seeking it. It's actually going to create a multitude of changes. And we can be so attached to other places or so scared of other things that are unknown that we don't actually open up to allowing. So what I want you to do right now is just take a deep breath. Just and just exhale, connecting with sound. And just whatever might have been in your mind and your field, just let it start to wash away. And we're just going to picture this beautiful white diamond energy, like diamonds raining down from the sky. And this is kind of like the story eraser. This is an energy that whatever you've got, whatever you've been holding on to, it acts as a cleanser. And it can begin to help allow you to just let go and let it just wash away. And you can even, if you want, picture a little drain in front and just allow this energy to wash all the way through you so that any place where you have been attached, for example, oftentimes we want things because we think it will bring us freedom. freedom from debt, freedom from having to put up with relationships, or freedom from loneliness, or whatever it might be. Yet, in thinking that the thing is going to bring the freedom, we're actually holding a belief that we're not free, and therefore that's where we're resonating. And so that's actually the frequency, that's the dominant frequency, is I'm not free. And so we start to attract more things to mirror to us, I'm not free. And it's not the universe punishing, it's simply just holding a mirror up saying, hey, this is the contrast to show us where we can shift. So just right now, let that energy just flow through you and just allow yourself to feel into the experience of what true freedom is for you. True freedom, not as an escape from something, but true, sovereign, joyous freedom. And if you don't have a template for that, I'm going to ask now that pure source, not anyone else, not anything else, pure source, allow yourself to connect into that energy and allow pure source to help download that experience to you. And whatever it is that brings joy into your life, you know, whether it's, if you have children, if it's your children, if your children stress you out, maybe don't go to your children, maybe go to a pet, maybe go to a sunset, maybe go to a beach, whatever it is for you. Maybe it's being in nature. Maybe it's a vacation you took a long time ago. Maybe it's just being able to take a bath and just relax. Just put yourself in that energy right now. And realize that you didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to be anything to feel that. And I know our mind comes in and says, oh, but. In this moment, we can feel that. And that feeling is the gasoline in that engine of manifestation that starts to allow that energy to really start to magnify. And the more you can feel it, it's turning that knob up. It's turning the volume up on that. That starts to allow that symphony within you to really start to tune in and vibrate. And that whole sound, that whole resonant vibration, that frequency, your dominant frequency, to begin aligning. And so we're just going to ask that this beautiful diamond energy continue to flow. And just picture a column of white light just surrounding you and flowing through you at every level. And just moving in the direction of whatever empowerment is for you. And just as it swirls, allow it to also act kind of like a chamber, just pulling any negativity out, transmuting it, while also spinning in all of the beautiful, pure light of source, refilling, refueling, allowing you to connect, knowing that you are worth experiencing love. You are worth investing in yourself. You are worth that self-love. You are worth allowing yourself to simply take the moment of now to be present. You are worth the gift of this moment. And so from there, just allow yourself to be in this space. And we're going to play this track. And this track, again, is receiving blessings. And this is the energy of knowing that you are that blessing. And that it's about shifting your vibration and shifting your relationship with the universe so that any part of you that may have been resistant to the universe, or seeing the universe as a foe, or seeing yourself as rejected by the universe, you begin to change that relationship so that you feel nurtured by the universe. You allow the universe to nurture you. You drop the old stories and expectations so that any of those old projections, and that's where some of the tracks that work with third eye and rewiring the brain, and you can look at some of the different topics that we address, but that's where those come in, because they allow us to begin seeing differently ourselves and other but seeing the universe and seeing everything shift in a way that we experience that love and we allow that love to be mirrored back to us. And through experiencing that, and we talk about it on the call, and we actually play some tracks. So if you maybe heard the call the first time, if you want to go back and listen, or if you missed the call, definitely I recommend going back and listening, because there's a whole experience you'll get of just love and light and belonging and nurturing and knowing what it is to fully feel like you are worth being able to do and have and be whatever it is you choose. And so with that, I will just say that I love you, and I will just say enjoy this track. So lots of love from myself and from Darius and from everyone here at UWealth, and enjoy.